visibility of an issue is what leads to potentially more housing because people see the need. If there was this group of people, like 225 tents, if each one was alone in like Stanley Park, hidden, or in an alley, people could just forget that there was a problem. But when people are all together, it's a daily reminder, and Oppenheimer was a daily reminder that there's this many people who don't have housing.
Have you come to the fire before?
No.
Okay. We just ask that everybody do fire protocol when they first come. Okay. So this is the fire, sort of the sacred fire, sort of the central part of the park and the community. It's the same fire that's been burning for well over 3 months in Oppenheimer and then Crab Park and now here. Everybody who comes in, we just ask them to grab some medicine and to put it in the fire. Just out loud or in your head, just say a little prayer or whatever sounds good to you. And just set some positive sort of intentions for being in the community. The only rules with the fire, there's always a firekeeper here 24/7. There's just no drinking or drugs by the fire, but everyone is welcome to sit and warm up. So we have cedar here and tobacco.
Am I just supposed to say something?
You're good. It's whatever you need to.
Thank you for inviting me to the community. I hope I'll be safe here. I hope I'll be welcome to the community. And thank you.
We got some stuff for you. Just let people set up where they want to set up.
Okay, right. So that's stuff right there now? That's it?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this is all.
okay.
But we can walk with you and drop this off.
Okay, all right. I don't know, right over there maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good, thank you.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Go get rapid.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Iris.
What's that?
It's okay.
Are you going?
Yeah.
He needs first aid. He needs stitches like right now. Pretty much right away, one of the other residents came running up and asked for a nurse. Luckily, there's 2 of us on right now. Brought him back to the tent. And just did some basic put together wound care. Got it closed up and cleaned up. And go from there.
It's nice that it's like you're right here.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can hear it happen.
Yeah,
And you
and
respond quickly.
like we're here pretty often, so now I know where that wound is. We can go back and check on how the wound care is going, and then if he needs to get to a clinic later, we've got clinics that we can sort of partner with and get him there. Because we've got people to give people rides as well. A lot of people have had a lot of trauma with the medical system, rightly so. It's pretty traumatizing for folks, and so it's nice that we're able to do what we can here. And then, you know, we always ask if somebody wants to go to a clinic, and if they think that they should, I can advise that, but I'm not gonna, you know, if somebody doesn't want to go, then that's perfectly within their right, and I think that that shouldn't exclude them from getting care for their healthcare needs.
So when we moved into this park, I guess whoever was first here said, don't camp under that tree because there's an eagle in it. And so people have been really, really respectful. We always ask people not to be right under this tree because it could disturb the eagle, and they've got babies right now. So then we put a fence. This is the one we put ourselves. It's right there. And it's also why, from an Indigenous perspective, people sort of see it as like a blessed site or a sacred site because there is an eagle on the site. And the sacred fire that was set up here was some coals that were carried from Crab Park, Sacred Fire of Crab Park. So when they were evicting Crab Park, and we had to like sort of negotiate to keep the sacred fire going until it went out, but we collected some coals, and the coals came here to start the fire here. And one of the fire keepers came here, and he was here, and he's like, well, there's an eagle and there's trees. Before we had water, and now we have an eagle. And so this is like a really sacred site.
And so why is there a fire here at the camp?
Well, it's based on the concept of home fires, the term home fires, that any home has a fire, you know, to give us warmth, to cook on. So that concept of having the sacred fire here is for the whole camp. You know, the homeless people, they have a home. This is the home fire, and they can come here, and that's the mandate of this camp. And also supporting other issues with the First Nation people, the missing and murdered Aboriginal women and girls, and the land claims.
30 years ago, 35 years ago, this was all sweat territory, meaning this is where we held our sweats.
And what's a sweat right now?
A sweat is where we cleanse and talk to the Creator. We very much similar to the sacred fire. We have our sacred fire, our grandfather rocks. It's cleansing and talking to the Creator. And this is our land. This is where we reside. We have ancestors that are here. This is why I think it's working here. It's not the greatest, but it is better than Oppenheimer Park or Crab Park. But we're on sacred land here, and you can feel it. Can't you feel it? It's a different atmosphere. Totally different atmosphere. So it'd be nice for most of maybe Vancouver to realize that we were here a long time ago, and we're still here. Right?
Yeah. Because when you said that at first, I was like, oh, you're meaning like, 300 years ago.
No, just recently. Yeah.
What happened? Why did it?
Strathcona community decided that it wasn't appropriate. Welcome to colonization. Now we just reclaimed this land back.
Yeah. Are the RCMP and Crime Stoppers the one that have developed this card for you?
No, I got that done at Speedy Printers. I woke up one night and...
Can I ask you to take off the Crime Stoppers and the RCMP and just leave your own?
Yeah.
Leave your own, and you could just leave that file number.
Yeah.
RCMP file number there, but take off RCMP and the Crime Stoppers phone number.
Yeah.
Just, because looking at it, it would make me think I have no interest in dealing with the police.
Yeah. I had 1,000 of these made up you know, for 2
For
years.
the next ones.
Yeah. For 2 years, I've been searching for my son, and I woke up one morning and I said, instead of handing out a poster to everybody, I'll give them a card.
Yeah, this is good.
They could, and missing and murdered want to take my idea, and I said, fine, go ahead, whatever helps, right? I'm from Morristown, the Wet'suwet'en Nation, yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Colton even went to the healing camp where they're doing all that, where they're doing all the pipeline now. Colton's auntie is Mona Wilson, the one from the Picton farm. Yeah. Yeah. But this is 12 times I've been down here. And when I first came down, they said that he was being used as a mule. But, you know, there's so many stories. Yeah. I come down here because I know my heart is down here and I can't sit in Prince George and do nothing. Because then I would look like the RCMP. Sorry, but that's what.
I've only got one arm that works.
Oh, you do?
I'm waiting to see a neurologist.
What happened?
I got attacked actually.
Oh yeah?
I'm waiting to book an MRI. Here I got a phone either today or tomorrow. And then I go and book an MRI and then I'm waiting for the neurologist. And then go from there. So this gets a little full and just put the lip on there and get to go. Yeah, if you don't put it out, I'm not going to come banging on your tent saying, please put your garbage out. We're all adults here.
Why did you start doing this, or how did you start doing it?
Boredom. Being bored. Yeah. I'm actually a welder and a pipe fitter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've been welding 14 years and I've been pipe fitting just recently started.
How have you found the camp in your time here?
Oh, it's been, like I said, it's been a better one of the ones I've seen. I never lived in a camp before, but I've seen them and visited them with friends and whatnot. But this is by far the cleanest one I've seen, it's considering the messes, but it's still, we go around, we got a group of us that go around picking up all the needles and stuff.
Why do you think it's better here?
I think it's the layout, to be honest with you, the whole circle thing. Everybody else here has agreed to the same thing. It's all about the layout, not just cluttering everybody in one spot. There's a lot of people that have been in these facilities, these camps before, so they've learned they learned from the past, and they're just dragging that knowledge on and trying to pass it on to other people like myself. This is my first time, so new guy. I picked up on it for like just watching other people getting frustrated with other neighbors' garbage, for example. So I'm like, I can pitch out, I can go pick that up. I got nothing to do, so we'll go grab the pickers and grab a garbage bag and go help them out. Because some of them don't really realize they're in a huge mess because maybe mental illness. Who knows what's going on with them? But I just politely ask, "Can I clean your yard?" And they say, "Yeah, I nay." You know? So.
Yeah, I got some. I have a lot of books. Sorry.
I read a lot.
I love reading.
It rained a little bit today. Just a couple rigs, water, and cooking would be fantastic.
Do you have an air can get?
I don't actually. Thank you very much.
Cool. Oh yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys. Yeah.
You too.
I just finished a biography of Kid Rock. It was kind of a random read. Like I just picked it up in Calgary one day because I was bored. And that's all there was. But when I first got here, I kind of was on the streets, sleeping outside and stuff. And then my friend brought me here. So even though I still want to work on getting a place and getting clean, I have a 4-year-old daughter with my parents right now. And
That's the one that actually I was pregnant with at Tent City, the last one. They call her the Tent City baby. But yeah, my goal is to get back with her. So, and I just relapsed last year. I had her here, and I stayed clean for 2.5 years after Tent City. I got a place with her. It was good. And then I relapsed a year and a half ago. So my mom and dad have her in Alberta right now. I don't know, like she thinks I have germs right now and that I need to get rid of my germs and come home. So that's like the best way I can kind of put it with her. It's hard. My mom said you can see the difference in her. It was really hard for her to leave me, and it was hard on me too. So that's why I figured I'd come back here to get a little bit of help, because in Calgary I had help with my addiction but not really parenting things. So here I had more parenting support, so that's why I came back.
I have one more very serious question for you.
Yep.
If you had one lesson from the Kid Rock biography that you wanted to share, what's the one lesson that you would share with the world about Kid Rock?
Don't waste my life on drugs. I've wasted way too many years. There's so much better things out there. There definitely is. And I hope that I can get clean and stay clean and just be a mom. That's the most important thing in my life right now. That's the end game. That's the prize at the end. It's my daughter. So, yeah.
I did take a little recording of it here.
Of him talking with or him?
So that's the guy.
Fucking retard the fuck out of here, asshole. Get out of my face, retard the fuck out of here, asshole.
That's City Councilor Peter Fry.
You're like a pedophile, man. Stay the fuck away from me. I'll fucking stab you. I'll fucking stab you, buddy. So quick.
You kind of saw that escalation, I guess, for lack of a better word, at the end of it, where people were yelling and swearing and being quite aggressive. How could that have been handled better, do you think?
I think with more of a community approach to understanding that these, again, are people's children, brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, and that people don't have the ability to support their family members at home. Yeah, I've seen encampments with people who wear suits that cost more than my rent in a month, that come down and their son with schizophrenia has been beat up in every shelter. Until Canada steps up and takes care of its own, in my culture and a lot of our Indigenous cultures across Turtle Island, we ensure that nobody's left behind. On my reserve, my stepdad and my brother and their relatives hunt and fish and provide wood for over 60 families that have disabilities or elderly or are unable to do that for themselves for some reason. And that is the type of community and that I want, or nation that I want to be a part of. And this is why Indigenous people say that we are sovereign people from sovereign nations, because we don't want to be a part of a country like Canada that leaves so many tens of thousands of people behind. And so as long as Canada, the province and territories and municipalities continue to ignore their citizens, I will continue to hold them up just like I will any of my cousins, my brothers, or my sisters.
Really destructive habit that came about with COVID. It really putting lives completely at risk with the no guests in the SRO rooms, and also all of the local facilities, places closed. Everything closed right down to the city.
Hundreds of people into Oppenheimer, where there are less resources because the washroom's closed, there's no place to wash your hands. But all these extra hundreds of people were gravitating there because there's no food anywhere else, there's nothing anywhere else. And everyone who's newly homeless because of the guest restrictions and because shelters reduced their capacity by 50%, So there's all these additional people who are homeless, nowhere to go, and they gravitate towards the one place that's got a little bit of resources. So you've got this like heightened tension and stress and bigger population in a small area. And then the issues with the borders closing and the drugs, and there's like worse and worse, more poison drugs. You don't know what's out there, and like tension around dealers and availability and all of those things, in addition to all of that stress and tension with few resources and so many people who are just increasingly desperate because they're suddenly homeless because of COVID.
And there was a wildfire through the community that went out that said if you went to Oppenheimer Park and set up your tent there, you were going to get housed. And in fact, if you weren't there pre-April 25, you were not going to at all be considered for housing. I was there, started a fire for 7 days on April 21, and I just watched the influx of tents, brand new tents in boxes that arrive, and thinking that possibly they might get a place to live if they were in Oppenheimer Park. And as soon as one tent was removed by the advocates, the housing advocates that were giving rooms to small individual tents, another tent went up right there in that same spot, and beside it there were like jam-packed tent peg to tent peg.
When does it end? Like when do the tent camp, when does it stop? Or does it stop? Like what does the city do that stops it?
You mean a specific one, or do you mean like theoretically, how does this whole cycle?
I mean, like, yeah, like theoretically from your perspective.
When 2,500, 5,000 people, 10,000 people have homes. When zero people are laying on the sidewalk, 0 people are camped out somewhere in a park, whether that's Stanley Park, New Brighton Park, Strathcona Park, or Oppenheimer Park. When 0 people are laying in a tent or rolled up in a tarp as a home base, that's when it ends.